Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for, this is going to be the top 5 tips from your future self for changing your life between now or before 2024. It's such a mouthful, right? But this is just something new I wanted to try. So for tip number 1, you have this juggling card. It says, prepare to be busy juggling many roles and projects. There you go. I definitely feel that is true. I felt money right away for you here, Aries, so I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty decent financial reading for you. I think you have a great opportunity to greatly increase your resources. I mean, having Jupiter in your second is pretty good. You don't always see, one thing I will say about, sorry, I didn't want to do that. One thing I will say about Jupiter in your second is you don't necessarily always see like the results right when Jupiter is in your second, but that at this time right now, but it's a great time to put work into new projects or new ideas. I do feel like some of you have already seen more money though coming in, or if you're working on any ideas, you have this card. You have intuitive ideas that you really need to act upon. Yes, Aries. These ideas are going to bring you money. I don't care what they are, but keep doing what you're doing. And don't stop is what I would say. I would just keep putting your energy into anything that makes you feel more independent right here. So there you go. I definitely like this and the energy that's going on here. I feel it's a very intuitive time for you as well. I'm pretty sure in your last weekly reading, I don't remember which that was. It's the 16th, whatever this week was, right? I'm pretty sure in that weekly reading, I was saying something about how it just seems to me that it's a very intuitive time. Like your intuition could be extra right now. And so I would be really paying attention to your dreams, your daydreams, anything that you feel you need to act upon, anything like that. I would really be paying attention to those ideas. You have the Page of Pentacles here. By the way, I'm using the In-Between Tarot, and it represents in between two energies. So Page of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles. And I feel like this energy is saying that you've learned a lot, and now it's time to put things into practice. It's time for you to take a leap of faith. Although, again, I get the feeling that some of you, maybe over the last year or maybe the last 6 months or so, if you have a business, I feel you've already done something that is going, if it hasn't already, I would say don't give up, because I feel you've done something that is going to really grow your business. I feel you're going to do more things as well. I kind of see you getting a lot of confidence in this reading also. It's almost as if I see you doing something that works. And it could be it doesn't have to be business. It could be in love, in business. It could be a decision you make. Like sometimes I think we make a decision, we're right. It could be anything. Like maybe you want to move, you have the Chariot here, and maybe you do it and you're like, hey, I made a good decision. And it gives you confidence to make more decisions. And I don't know why that's popping into my head, but it is. I also feel you are, again, your future self here is saying you are entering into a very busy time. And you have the Justice card right here. So we'll talk more about that. But for you to be very successful with the Chariot, I feel it's saying you need to make sure that you're putting your energy into the right things. The Justice card is cause and effect. I always say the easiest thing to do with the Justice card is to make sure that you're putting energy into things that return energy to you, and to make sure that you are doing things that fulfill you. It's like me, I thank God God bless my assistant, right? Because I'm not that big on social media. I don't really spend a lot of time on social media. She runs all my social media, and without her, I pretty much would have no social media except for YouTube. that would be the only thing I have, right? Because I just don't want to do the other stuff. And again, I kind of get that here, where it's like, do what you're good at. It's like, this is what I'm good at. This fills me with energy. I always say, people always say, they'll be like, you need a break. I'm like, first off, quickest way to get banned from the Minnow Pond is to tell me that I need a break. Number 2, what I would say is that this fills me with energy. I start my day, pretty early, and sometimes I'm a little bit tired, but by the time I'm done with my readings, I'm full of energy. So again, with this card, I would be making sure that you are doing the same thing. Are there activities in your business that fill you with energy? I would do more of those things. And again, you have the Strength card here. This is the Chariot to the Strength card, and the Strength card is all about something that you do every single day. So it's like, do you have a daily practice that fills you with energy? It is popping into my head as very, very important. Again, that's the other thing as well. I do this every day, but I take really good care of myself. So, outside of doing this. So it's like I'm never out of energy. I'm never, feeling sick or anything like that for the most part. So I would say make sure to take care of yourself. You have this Justice card. And again, I feel you need to make sure you're putting energy into the right things. But I also feel like you just feel a sense of fairness here is what I'm getting. Like you feel the universe is being more fair to you. Or maybe you feel like you're getting what you deserve in work. So, I really like this a lot for you here. For sure. Looks very good, Aries. I also feel there's just like so much fulfillment. I do feel you are going to be very, very busy between now and the end of the year. It seems to me like you are doing a lot of work. And, again, I would make sure to take care of yourself, take care of your health, and like all that other stuff. With the Page of Pentacles, you have this detachment card here. I do feel like I feel practicing detachment is always a good idea, detaching from outcomes and just saying, well, it is what it is. I'm just going to do my best, and that's all that matters, right? 4 agreements. Do your best is one of the 4 agreements, right? So that popped into my head. Maybe you need to read the 4 agreements, one of my favorite books. With the Chariot, you have this restlessness card. I feel you need to channel your restless energy into something. If you're feeling restless, I would just do something. A lot of people have had this energy at this time. And, I feel restlessness can be very destructive energy unless you channel it into like a project. It could even be into working out or going for a walk or, petting your dog or whatever. I don't care. But if you are feeling restless, don't just sit there and feel restless. Like put that energy into something, right? With the Justice card, you have this Flattery card. I feel that you're getting on the same page with yourself. You see these two people, they're like facing opposite directions. These two are facing the same direction, and there's a tree growing because they see they're on the same page. But really, I don't think this has anything to do with flattery. I think this has to do with you getting on the same page with yourself. It's like you are listening to your higher self, maybe, or your intuition. And because you're in alignment with this energy, I feel you're making things maybe not easier, but there's just a better flow with the Justice card here as well. You are, because when we do things that fill us with energy, obviously we're going to do better in other areas of our life as well. For tip number 2, you have this Swing card. It says, moving back and forth, unsure, maybe undecided, let go of the past to see the future. If you are holding on to anything from the past, I would definitely let it go, but I don't know, this is a pretty good row here. You have the Queen of Swords, the King of Wands, and the Emperor, which is you, showing up in a very strong position here. I do feel like some of you could be making decisions to end things from the past, and it could be anything. I feel it's something confusing intuitively. So it doesn't have to be a relationship. For some of you, of course, it could be, but for others, maybe you just can't make your mind up on what to do with a business that isn't working out, and you could just be saying, you know what? I'm going to start something that it does not confuse me. And we actually see that right here because you have the Queen of Swords. This is the Queen of Swords to the King of Swords energy. It's the in-between energy. And, what I would say here is that the Queen of Swords, she sees things clearly for the first time. The King of Swords has knowledge and wisdom. He is kind of a combination of knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge, you can know something all day long, but there are certain things you miss when you don't put your knowledge into practice. That's when you gain wisdom, when you actually use what you have learned, right? So I feel for a lot of you, you have been learning a lot from life, and you have a lot more wisdom. I do feel like some of you have wisdom in a certain area of your life, just looking at everything else here, that needs to be expressed. So you might have a certain expertise in, if you're not using it or if you're not sharing your wisdom with the world, I do feel you could be like missing out. I feel like the universe really wants you to kind of share your ideas and, start that business based off of something that you want to do or whatever. You have the King of Wands here. Again, I feel like you are ready for a new adventure. This is the King of Wands to the Page of Wands. Again, it's the in-between energy, and the court cards just go back to the page when we get to the King. And so I feel it's a combination of both. It's like the King, the King of Wands actually has a lot of knowledge and wisdom. King of Wands is very effective, meaning he kind of like says something and he does it. He just doesn't care if he knows what he needs to know or not. He is the type of king to just take action, and he will learn as he goes if he has to. And so I feel that for a lot of you, part of this confidence that you could be developing is the confidence that, even if you don't know something, you will figure it out. And the Page of Wands is this enthusiasm. I do feel that there's a leap of faith that you need to take here because we go down to this Fool. And with the detachment card here, you could be worrying too much about a new beginning that you are wanting to have. But really, I feel you should just take the leap of faith. For some of you, I do feel this is love related. So if you want love, I feel it's saying it's this time, this second half of the year, whatever you want to call it, I think would be a good time for you to like get out there, meet new people, stuff like that. You have the Emperor. Again, I feel like you're in a very good position. Funny enough, this is the Emperor to the Hierophant, and the Hierophant, of course, could be marriage, but I also feel it's kind of saying you are mixing your spiritual world with, like, the real world. And I feel this is when we become very, very powerful, when we can mix intuition and logic. Those are two totally different things, but I think being able to mix those two things together is super powerful, and I feel you're kind of mixing two things together here. So let's get more details, because I need more details on like what this could be. With the Queen of Swords here, you have this vision card. A lot of people have had this card. I do feel we need to have a vision at this time. Funny enough, there is a cat on this card right here, and you have that cat spirit that says claim your independence. So, I feel this is definitely a sign of the times. I feel we are in a time where we all maybe have unique ideas about the world, or, about things that we want to create. And I feel this card is saying, hold your vision, keep working towards your vision, because it's your own unique vision. You can be successful in your own unique way, is what I feel like this card is saying. With the King of Wands, you have this escape card here. I do feel like some of you are escaping a back and forth situation here. This could be with a person. Maybe you've already escaped. I feel like you could be detaching, but it's so weird. I feel like you are calling. It's like you're calling judgment. Is the type of feeling that I get here. It's almost like you are making the final decision. Like sometimes I think we can be with a person, they're flippy floppy, they're back and forth, and we're like, but we stay with them for whatever reason. But I feel like it's like you are chopping heads with that Queen of Swords. I feel like you're saying no. So for some of you, this could be a person. For others of you, I feel this is just a choice that you're making. With the Emperor, you have the submission card. This card, funny enough, reminds me of the Eight of Swords. You can see here, if you can see, which you can't, now you can, there's a bird with the cage door open. And that, it kind of is weird. The bird is stuck in the cage, but really the cage door is open. It could easily set itself free. So I feel for a lot of you, if you're feeling stuck in any area of your life, that this card is saying like, hey, it's time to set yourself free. Next, for tip number 3, you have this card that says you have intuitive ideas that you really need to act upon. Yes, I feel for a lot of you that you're getting intuitive ideas. If you just have an idea, just do it. And again, it is interesting that I feel over the last year or so, maybe you've done something that was kind of just an idea. You tried it to see what would happen, and it's giving you confidence now. So whatever that is, for a lot of you, I feel this is financial, like something you did financially that improved your business or your career. And I feel it's something that you weren't sure about, but you did it anyway, and it's giving you confidence. Well, I feel you need to do more of those things, I feel like you need to do more kind of branching out and growing. I feel like I've said this to you before, and if you haven't done this yet, by the way, I feel like you need to. So don't be afraid to try any of like your intuitive ideas and things like that. I see a lot of growth here. Again, I've just been feeling really good for you, Aries, as far as finances are concerned, especially if you're starting a business or like even social media or something like that. And, it just looks really good to me here. This could also be about love. Like you could have it be feeling an intuitive connection, or you could even be intuitively feeling that a person is coming in. Look, these two people have their backs to each other, but there's a cup right above their head. And, I'm kind of seeing that in my head here. It is interesting that you have the Two of Swords to the Three of Swords here. It's also interesting that there's like a Roman soldier walking by this lady here. And so I'm not sure if that's you or a person that you're attracting. Take it how it resonates. But I feel like there could be a person coming in for you that maybe you see as kind of like a badass or whatever. But I also kind of feel like they're in that chopping heads mode. I feel like you could be what I'm trying to spit out here is I feel like you could be attracting a person that has maybe been through similar things as you. Could be a Scorpio, by the way, because I feel like I've said this to a Scorpio before, but take it how it resonates. Could be any sign, general reading. But water does stand out to me here. But what I would say is, again, I feel like it's someone who's been through similar things to you. So they could just be in this armor mode, but I don't know. I feel like they will let down their armor. And I definitely feel like look at how she's looking at this guy. She's like, yeah, I want that, right? So I don't know. I feel like you want it. Doesn't matter what gender you are either. And but again, this could also be you. You could be the one that has a little bit of armor on. Maybe you're just being serious. But again, I don't really feel. Of course, if you meet a person, I would open up, right? Don't be so closed off. But at the same time, I don't necessarily feel bad about this. I feel like you're just healing. You have the Knight of Wands here. The Knight of Wands is willing to be spontaneous, willing to try new things. So again, you have that card that says you have intuitive ideas that really need to be acted upon. The Knight of Wands, he just does it. He doesn't really care, again, just like the King of Wands. He doesn't necessarily care how he gets to the finish line. He's willing to learn as he goes. This is in between the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, she only follows her desire. That's all she has. The Queen of Wands, she has that sunflower, and sunflowers point towards the sun. But also all the court cards, all the fire court cards have salamanders on them, which represent protection from fire, except for her. She's the only one that is not protected from fire. And so it kind of says that she is not necessarily protected from risk, but she has to take the risk anyway. She has to, she has to be bold and assertive. Those are like the things that she needs to be, and she is, so that she can be successful. You have the Fool to the Magician. Again, I feel it's time for you to take a leap of faith right now to be more successful. There's like some sort of leap that you're taking, is what I would say. But I love this Fool card in this deck because he's like flying. He's built himself some wings. So it's better than the Fool. It's better than, just taking a leap of faith. I feel like you're going to be soaring if you follow your intuitive ideas. Intuitive ideas could just be ideas that kind of pop up out of the blue, or literally you could just be thinking about your business. You come up with an idea, you're like, that's a good idea. Probably is. Try it. Do it. See what happens. So let's see here. I'm also getting children as well. Like if you have children, sometimes I think like children say things to us and we just brush it off because they're children. But it's like sometimes, for some reason, my alarm's going off. But sometimes the things children say to us are like super intuitive. So you might have children that like say something about your business or whatever and like listen is what I would say. With the Two of Swords here, you have this order card. Again, it's funny, everybody's had this card. I don't know, I just think we're maybe doing things more in order, or maybe there's less confusion. Neptune retrograde, right? We have Neptune retrograde right now. I do feel that could be bringing a little bit of clarity in, and so it is a good time to, again, bring those intuitive ideas down to earth. With the Knight of Wands, you have this negotiation card here. No negotiating. I feel like you need to go straight for what you want. Sometimes I think we say, oh, I want to, start this business, or I want to, do this with my life, but I would be okay with less, like I'm sure you've heard people, I don't really have any good examples. The example I always use is like, sometimes people say, oh, I want to make $10 million, but I'll be happy with $1 million. It's like, no, then you're never going to make it because you're creating two conflicting energies right there, right? You have to go exactly for what you want, and you need to do it unapologetically. So I kind of feel that. With the Fool, you have this discovery card. Just a new beginning coming in for you. I feel there's a lot of success in new beginnings for you. I'm also getting something about travel here. If you are traveling, you could be like moving, and that could be very successful for you. It could lead to a lot of benefits. You could just be moving, and it could just fill you with energy, which could be a benefit as well. All sorts of stuff. For tip number 4, you have this cat spirit. It says, claim your independence. I kind of feel like you are. I'm not too worried about this. I do feel we're in a time where we need to make sure that we're being unique. And I feel like you are being unique, but, and I feel you are claiming your independence, but this could also be in relationships. Like, I feel if there is a relationship coming in, I feel it could be very good for you, but I also feel this could be saying, like, don't get lost, don't get lost in the connection. Make sure that you maintain your independence. But other than that, I don't know, if there's love coming in for you, it looks really good. You have the Knight of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands. Definitely could be an earth sign coming in for you for sure, if you are looking for love. It could be just a person with earth in their chart or something as well. But the King of Pentacles, I love for love because it's a person who really wants to build a connection. King of Pentacles he really wants something permanent. So I feel you could be attracting a person where you both want something permanent. I also love this for business as well. So, anything, this is the King of Pentacles to the Page of Pentacles. So anything new you could learn about business or money would be a great idea for sure. You have the Knight of Cups. Could be a knight in shining armor coming in for you. Again, I feel you are clearly attracting a very independent person as well. I frequently say I think some of the best relationships are two people who are independent, two people who don't like need each other but want each other, right? And so I kind of feel that's what's coming in for you. A person who's independent, you're independent, and it just works. It's like you're not like, having to be this person's mother or father and vice versa as well, right? It's like the two of you just work well together, and I feel like you're perfectly independent, but that makes you want each other more, probably, honestly. So, I feel like this could be a very good connection if it's love. I also feel with the Knight of Cups, it's kind of saying if you have any independent ideas that no one else has, I would definitely be working on those ideas. Again, there's a major theme in your reading of needing to, saying you have unique ideas that you need to express, and I would do that. You have the Ten of Wands here. I do feel like you're releasing something. This is the Ten of Wands to the Ace of Wands. Ten of Wands is something like carrying a burden. The Ace of Wands even represents out with the old, in with the new. So for a lot of you, I do feel you're releasing something that's maybe confusing or that is very back and forth. Again, you have that swinging card that says back and forth time, or no, it says moving back and forth in time. And so it says let go of the past to see the future. And I really feel that if you're undecided, it's almost like you are saying, you know what, I'm going to let this go. I also, again, I can't get away from the feeling that you could maybe you've dealt with a person, and it's like, I'm not saying you're with this person, but maybe you talked to a person or whatever that you were with, and I feel like they can't make up their mind, and you're saying to yourself, no, I'm making up my mind. It's like it's almost, I don't want to say you've broken a spell, but it's almost as if you could wake up one day and just be like, oh my God, what am I doing? Wasting a bunch of time with this person. I feel you could be breaking a spell. With the Knight of Cups, you have this convention card. Normally, I don't really like this card because, I think right now we need to be careful of convention. Convention represents the way things have always been done. So one of the quickest ways to be stuck right now is to keep doing things the way they've always been done. It's just that simple. So I really feel we need to be innovative at this time, but I don't know. I feel like this is pretty good. It could just be like a conventional relationship that's coming in for you that's pretty solid. What do you know? With the King of Pentacles, you have this independence card. It just says independence on it. So again, I feel you could be attracting someone who's very independent. I feel like this person doesn't need anything. Like if they need something, they create it. It's like that type of person. If they need money, they go make more of it. And again, I can't get away from, I said earlier, it's like you don't have to be this person's mother. I don't care what gender you're attracted to, and I don't care if you're a man or either. It's like, I feel like no matter what gender you are, it doesn't matter. It's like, I just feel like you don't feel like you have to like take care of this person. You want to, right? You'll probably want to take care of this person, but they don't need someone to like hold their hand through every single little issue, So, again, this is a good thing. I feel that you could really be, I feel like you could really be attracting someone who can take care of themselves, which is great because that probably lifts the burden off of the relationship, any burdens that could exist. Especially if you've dealt with like needy people in the past or whatever. I'm not saying it's bad to help a person. And again, I think there will be times, of course, where you will hold this person's hand, where you will help them through something, and vice versa. They'll help you through something, but it's like they don't need it. I think there's a different energy going on there, so I hope that makes sense. With the Ten of Wands, you have this Harmony card here. Very peaceful. I feel like you're creating more peace in your life as well, especially with this Ten of Wands. I feel like you're sick of carrying so many burdens, and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to do things for myself. This could also be part of the reason you're attracting a person like this is because you are being like it. You're just, putting this energy out of being able to solve your own problems and being able to take care of yourself. And so you're just attracting a person just like that. And again, this is if you want love. If you don't want love, again, that's perfectly fine. I feel you're just taking care of yourself. I feel you're creating more peace, more harmony in your life, which obviously is a good thing. For your fifth thing that you need to pay attention to or that you could do before the end of the year, you have this Whale card. It says, your voice matters. Speak your truth. Yes, I definitely feel that. Some of you I literally feel could be speaking, by the way. It's popping into my head. You could be starting a YouTube channel, or you could be like training people at work or something like that is popping into my head. Also, if you're giving a presentation at work, I feel that will go very well for you. Or if you're thinking about giving presentations, I also feel that will go very well for you. Anything using your voice, any of that stuff, I think would be amazing for you. In a couple years or whatever, however much time it is, you will have Jupiter in your third house. What is that, like a year from now, something like that? I don't know. I haven't looked. Doesn't matter. The point is that it will be in your third house at some point soon in the near future, and that is great for expanding your voice. But I would start now. You don't have to like wait till Jupiter enters into your third house. You have the Four of Cups, Four of Wands, and the Two of Wands. The Four of Cups can represent disappointment, but interestingly enough, again, these two people are back to back, but there's a cup over their head. I feel the two of you just need to turn around. I'm wondering, some of you might be interested in a person, and they're interested in you, but maybe there just hasn't been enough flirting or talking yet. So again, if you're already like talking to a person or something, maybe there needs to be more communication or flirting. For others, I just feel you haven't met this person yet, but I do feel that you will be meeting a person soon. You might have your eye on a person, or they have their eye on you or something, and there just needs to be more, communication. Again, you have the Four of Wands, so marriage. Definitely could lead to marriage. I do feel this is the Four of Wands to the Five of Wands, so I do feel that someone, it's like Someone could be worried about competition. Maybe it's you or them, I'm not sure, but someone could be worried that there's competition for you, or you could be worried that there's a lot of competition for this person. But again, I wouldn't worry about that. So it could lead to marriage. I also feel this is about you kind of leveling up. The Four of Wands I consider to be a finish line card. It kind of says you are ending or completing one stage and you're going to the next stage. It's a card of freedom as well. These people normally are celebrating on the other side of the Four of Wands, and it represents being free. So I feel if you're kind of leveling up in some way, like in your business or your career, that you're going to be getting like a whole new sense of freedom, or you are increasing your freedom. You have the Two of Wands here. Yes, Two of Wands about taking the lead. This is Two of Wands to the Three of Wands. I personally read the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands. I read them both as cards of leadership because, the Two of Wands, he needs to take the lead and he needs to leave his castle. Three of Wands, he needs to take the lead and he needs to get on those boats that are in the harbor. So, to me, they're both cards of needing to move. They're both cards of needing to go on an adventure. Two of Wands, he's got that world in his hands. He's looking out in front of him. And he thinks, oh, I've experienced everything I need to experience, but he has a whole world in his hands. There's so many more things that he can experience. So, I feel this is saying, like, don't feel limited at this time. I also feel you need to use your voice at this time. Let's see. With the Four of Cups, you have this inheritance card. Again, everyone's had, like, Ten of Pentacles energy, Ten of Pentacles. I feel this could be a person here that you build and leave a legacy with. So definitely a solid connection if you are looking for love. If you're not looking for love, I feel for a lot of you that you're just kind of building, leaving a legacy. Again, with all this, over the next, I say it all the time, that personally I believe that it's probably the best thing you can do for the rest of your life is build something important, or, build something that helps you leave your mark on the world. That's what I'd be doing. With the Four of Wands, you have this rebellion card here. Love-wise, I feel you could definitely be attracting a little bit of a rebel. So you could be attracting a person who's a little bit unconventional in some way. I feel like it's a good thing. I also feel that you're setting yourself free by being independent. It's like you're no longer following someone else's rules, is what I'm getting. So I don't really feel like you're rebelling against anything. I think you're just following your own rules, or, if you have a job, you could be starting a business and saying, no, I'm going to make my own rules. With the Two of Wands, you have this enthusiasm card. Yeah, perfect way to end the reading. I feel there's a lot of enthusiasm here. I feel like you need to follow your enthusiasm, but I feel like there are 1.5 million reasons for you to be very excited about the future with this enthusiasm card, and there's like a lot of happiness here as well. So I see a ton of success here for you, Aries. Looks amazing. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy the rest of your year.